all you devils out there. Well, looks like we're going to roar into the new year with some risk on, at least on this Friday here, the 3rd of the new year, 3rd of January. So I'm going to start with Bitcoin, of course. Then, I got to spin through. I'm going to look over on the altfins hot list here. There's a couple that are set up that might be ripe for some opportunity, or very least something you want to get on your watch list. Okay, so let's just start here with Bitcoin. Now, I'm kind of keying off of this low over here. What is it, 85.2, about approximately. Here's the November, right? The rip here. Now we want to stay above this level here because there's just an air pocket here. There'd be no support underneath it. Now I'm drawing the volume profile from this pivot low here, so we can really see this sideways here. Bitcoin will do that. It's prone to doing that. So this larger pattern here going sideways here, we don't have anything impulsive. We're just markets wrestling, right? Perhaps waiting, right? When we get into the new year, get through some of the macro issues that might be holding it back, but it's risk on today. Of course, the stock index is all Mag 7, most of them all ripping higher today. So as we look here, this is as I've said this before, right? The real challenge in Elliott Wave for a student, it's always the corrections. That's where the complexity is. Well, we've got, the motive wave. I got a diag or an impulse. Or pretty straightforward. But I've got, what is it now? 26 different kinds of corrections we have to deal with. At this point, it looks like we've got a lot of complexity here. Okay, right. For those that want to be critical of Elliott Wave, this might be a place where you do it, because this is likely. Multiple counts would come from even multiple skilled Elliotticians here, because there's a bit of a wag going on here. We don't have any clarity. Well, the only thing that gives us clarity is if just again drawing from the low here is pretty balanced range here that we sit in the middle of. Now, when you're at the POC, that's not really a place you want to enter, because you don't know which way we're going here. You want to be on the edges, right? So on an edge like this is, of course, hindsight, right? But the sweep here, and I talked about this, I can't remember if it was a live stream or it was last Friday video that I did, that all of these pivot lows down here were all just ripe to, it was last week, right? As I was trying to advise people not to be a whale snack, right? So you could just see all the liquidity down here. And I've actually put on, this is a nice little indicator. What's it called here? It's from Lux Algo, buy side, sell side liquidity. Shoot, I can't remember if it's free or not, but they do some nice. They have some nice things. They have a shitload of things. It's almost too many, but this is a particularly good one here. So we can see, right? Again, is it hard to spot where the liquidity is? The pivot's always right, but this, if you're kind of wondering, right, that can be useful here. So we can see what happened here. We swept the liquidity, up we go, right? So that's a footprint of what you would anticipate, what you want to look for at a low. So all of the low-hanging fruit here has been grabbed, and now we push away from it. Okay, count. Well, it's not an easy one here. So this looks like we've got a true flat here where we just go sideways. So an ABC into a W seems reasonable. This here, and I have it highlighted, almost defies a good count, right? There's going to be a bit of a wag in there. You're going to have to make a wild ass guess as to what we have. It appears to me to be more likely a 3. You can't count a clean impulse in there without a bit of a force fit. So my thought is we've gone WX, and then we're going to do an ABC, and that we're not yet ready for a launch. Could I be wrong? Obviously, right? Of course. But it appears to me there's a couple of hurdles we're going to have to get through before we get overly bullish. So first, right, as we sit up here, there's a little bit of a order block here, or a drop, base drop, right? So potentially you've got supply up here. If we're coming into the 50 in the golden zone, 707, right, and then that potential supply zone up here, this would not be surprising, right? If we did this as a 3 and we popped here and then came back down here, get everybody nervous, sweep, because now where's the liquidity, right? It's all down here, right? If we come sweep all of that and then go, that wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm not sure I'd be in a hurry to be a buyer here. I know that the temptation is, okay, well, there it is, right? Lows in, here we go. I mean, you could probably talk yourself into a 1-2 and working on a 3 here. again, as I was just saying, with volume profile here, we want being a buyer down here makes sense, right? You're on the edge of acceptance, right? So the target, right? A POC is often a target, not necessarily a place to be entering the market. I would propose that to you. So if we get up here to the edge of value, that's more likely to be a place to sell rather than a place to buy, right? Because you're making the assumption that we're just going to keep going here without a retrace, and I mean that's a hard assumption to make, right? But yours to make, right? So trade accordingly. We just, again, as I do every week, I've 6 years of this. I don't know how many thousands of videos, but many thousand. It's the same thing every time, right? So it doesn't matter what video you pull up. All we're doing here is applying a methodology, which is what we teach, right? So that's what TradeDevils is all about, right? We have a methodology developed over, well, I've been doing this for 30 years, but things change, right? So I don't trade exactly the same way I did 30 years ago. I don't want you to get that impression. So we adapt, we adjust to markets are different. Markets are always evolving, changing. Back when I was a broker, a big deal was have a line right to the floor, right? Most people watching this don't even know what that means. Most you might remember it, right? Or have seen a movie, maybe seen Trading Places, but that was always a big deal. Now, broker, yeah, that's where I fund with, but not a lot of people talking to their brokers. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so as we sit here, I think the potential here, since everybody wants it to go and go, one last sweep down here would be, I think, a gift. And now, do we get it? I don't know. Right? Of course, no one knows. There's no knowing. But I would be very reluctant to encourage anybody to be buying aggressively here. Certainly not with leverage. For long-term trading, right, which is essentially what we're doing here. Leverage, you choose it very, very specifically when you have very high confidence on a trade here, and you've done all the math on what your liquidation point is. So that's up to the individual here. This one, I think we're still, again, look where we are. What is your edge here? If you're a bull, what's your edge? You don't have one. Maybe you think you do, but looking at the chart here, objectively, you don't. Sorry to be a buzzkill, but you don't, right? So we got to plow through some of this. What would you hope, right? You plow through this, and then you get a nice correction, right? Maybe back to some zone like this, and then look for that first, right? And then we go, right? That's what you're hoping for, right? If you want to fill it in your mind's eye, but right now, right here, well, make your own choice here, but I would not encourage anyone to be a buyer there. Okay, so for the rest of this. Let me bring this over here. I love these guys, right? I reference these guys all the time. I think this is a really underappreciated site and company, and the work that they do here. This is their hot list, right? It's often where I'll come over here and look. Now, some of these we've hit very recently, but there's a few. We're going to look at SNX and SHIB, and I think SUI. We'll give it a visit. Crows and AVAX. There's a few here we're going to look at. So let me pull that over here. All right, so let's start over here with SHIB, and hang on a second. All right, well, as a reminder, anyone interested in alt fins, right, if you want to check it out. I think they still have a trial. They used to, but our links are underneath. You want to support the channel? Well, great, we'd appreciate it. If not, no hard feelings. Okay, so this is the top of the list. SNX on the hot list. Synthetics. So let's see what I've got it for. Let's go to a daily here and get some perspective. Now here again, I've got that same indicator because I think this might be helpful to people. Again, I can't remember if it's the free one or not. I think it may be. So it's just what is it doing? Right, it's putting a pivot it's putting a line at the. Right, I can draw them, but this is kind of handy, right? You see them, right? You don't miss them. Now we're going to probably go through, I don't know, maybe 6 alts. They have all done the exact same thing. Right, they all look exactly the same. They've all done this little chop zone here, and now we're getting a little pop, and now we're back into a little more chop. Now I have on here. This is because I'm in log scale. You've seen this before, and I'm sure you've dealt with it. When you're log scale, you can't use a regression channel, right? It whacks it out, right? So because of the compression. So this is a handy little. Just pass a little something on here. The adaptive trend finder. If you look for that, that was a editor's pick. because it'll give you a channel, it'll give you a regression channel in log scale, right? Which normally can't do. You can't do with just their average log scale. Okay, all right, so that's kind of handy. So channeling is such a critical part of Elliott Wave. Well, here you can see the, chop, 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 chop. What's the count? Doesn't matter. What happened here? We swept liquidity and then we go. So, okay, I think this is a reasonable place. I don't really even think, I'm not even worried about this. I'm just using the two lows here. Now, could you do with one WXY? You could, right? If you get in trouble, if I need another leg, okay, I might be able to do that. But as it sits right here, from this low, okay, I get an impulse that comes out of that. It's a little squishy in here. I'm on a daily. Oh, we go to I have an 8-hour here. We get it cleans it up a little bit. WXY. It's kind of a wimpy Y relative to the W, but there it is, right? I'm just kind of keying off of the structure here. This, of course, was a liquidity grab, right? And then off they went. So when there's a buy-side liquidity grab, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're through the floor, right? These are just locations, right, that algos are going to seek because that's what they're looking for is liquidity. Okay, right? I don't think it matters. 1, 2, right? So we can, look here and go, huh? I wonder why it stopped there. Well, you know where I'm going with that. You don't think it might be Al, would it? Al's always there. It's just a matter of finding him. So there he is. Right, there's our friend Al. Okay, so we pop, right? We don't get, the target's way the hell up here. So you have a decent base. You can do the same thing, right? Say, oh, here, we're in this chop zone here. We're waiting. What are we doing? We're waiting. Now, let's see. Are we in a squeeze? Yeah, we're in a squeeze. Now, a squeeze, so I remind you, a squeeze is good news because we know what's coming from that, right? It's at some point. Now, you don't know. There's no knowing which way we're going to go, but we're in a squeeze. The one thing we know with certainty, with absolute certainty, from this consolidation, from this contraction will come expansion. You could do the same thing here. From this consolidation will come expansion, right? It's just nothing to do with the markets. That's universal law. Okay, from that, whoops, get you down here. Okay, so from this little consolidation, okay, it's something, right? Now, given the swing retrace, the fact that we hit a golden here, you bearish? Probably not, right? Most people that watch videos here are looking for crypto. They're likely bulls. So, time to jump in. Well, I wouldn't shy away from that. Let's go to a 1. See how we look down here. Okay, I'm going to take my adaptive friend off here. All right, so it cleans it up a little bit. Yeah, this 1, 2, 3, right? You want to call that 3 drives. What you probably see here is some sort of shit. I don't know. It matters, right? Something along these lines. Something corrective. You could do it here. 1, 2, 3. It's a chop zone. No matter how you slice that, but often, right, what you've got to do is work off of what's implied, right? If we look at the line chart that's just going to track the closes, we can get a better feel for it. Now, as we start to come out of that, okay, we can go back to the candles. How much of a 2? 1, 2? It's barely. You're gonna have to do it this way. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it looks like you've got an impulse. Let's go back to a 60. You got an impulse underway. We can pull this off and go the other direction. So we have a candidate here, and at the low, right, which is just what you want to see, there was liquidity grabs, and we came out pretty aggressively. Not massive displacement, but we're certainly moving away from the low pretty substantially. Okay, are we done? Well, hard to say. Let's pop that up a little bit. Oh, I got a 1070 on here. Let me reset that. Oh, let's reset to 534. Well, we can see a little bit more of that separation. That's just what you want to see, right? See, Can't script it any better. Big push for the 3 back to the 0 line and get a squeeze for the 4, and then we pop for the 5. Right now, this could extend. Right, there's nothing that says this couldn't extend. As we see it here, what we're looking for is the divergence. Well, that's not substantial divergence. This could turn into 3, 4, and this could be the 1. Right, we could all of this could fly up because this is such a wimpy little 2. If we're doing it this way compared to that 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It may play better this way. Now we don't know, right? So you could look at this. Okay, well here's some order flow that's untouched, right? So we would need to keep going here to think that that's the 3. Oh fuck! Come back here, and then if I can get you out of there. 4, 5. Oh come on! Must be Friday. All right, so now we can get channel started. I don't need to be in a large scale here, but I think for the larger count, it just makes it easier. 1, 2. Well, obvious hurdle, right? Here's liquidity. And any pivot's going to be a potential target for liquidity. 1, 2. It's a little shallow for the 2, but you know, market doesn't have to do a 50. Looks good, right? So that is it time to buy it? Well, okay. Let's consider this. If indeed, right, if you're a bull here on synthetics, well, obvious locations, right, for targets, right, would be up here. Like that's probably. Oh, let's just do that, right? So I don't like the idea of going 1, 2. I think this is a more conservative approach here rather than just be balls bullish, right? Okay, 1, 2. Let that prove itself. That would be my view. Again, you could just look at this all as just consolidation. Now, we got to rip out of here aggressively. Good start. Well, so you have 2 choices here. I would propose to you, right? Let this play, right? If this, as is always the case with a channel, if we get a solid 3 and we start to retrace into the 4, then we'll redraw it up here and bring this down here. But as it is right now, we stay with what we have, right? Let that shape, because we don't want to just read that all in, right, in your mind's eye, right? If you're a bull, you're like, oh, well, of course it's going to do that. Not so fast. Well, you got 2 choices here. If this is going to play as an impulse, right? If this is 1, 2, well, we need a 1, 2, right? So we need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get that 3. We can start measuring for targets, right? Again, same thing every time. That's our edge, right? So 1, oh shit. Let's bring that back. Let's redraw that. If this is the 1, 2, this is our target for the 3, right? That's the most probable location for it. So meaning, if this is the 1, right, we would look for a 2, 3, 4, 5 to get us right here. 1, 2. Where's the next trade? Well, as I just said, we got some unmitigated order flow here. So bullish order flow. We get a little retrace back into this, maybe to the 50. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would get you into the third of the third at this degree. So if I finish that out, I think you get the drift, right? And most members here will know what I'm doing with that. I'm just, well, it's always a good idea to change the colors, get the degrees right, so you don't get confused about what's what. 3, 4, 5 going up there. Any retrace here? Yeah, I'm interested. Relatively low risk. I mean, worst case, put it under here. No reason to use leverage. I mean, unless you just want it to be in for a short ride. That's got potential to go much higher, so why limit yourself? Right? If this is 1 and this is 2, you're just going to take the 1 of the 3, because that's what we're saying here. This would be the 1 of the 3, right? If heavy emphasis on if that's the 2, where are we going for the 3? You're gonna be a little sad if you took this and right, it went here to 11, 12 bucks, and you're gonna take it out here at $2. Now, nothing wrong with taking a profit there and then letting it retrace, because if we do this, right, again, it's just Elliott theory, we're likely to do this and then go. We're not going to do it in a straight line, obviously. Well, yeah, I shouldn't say it that way, right? Anything's possible. It's unlikely. I mean, this is damn near a straight line. I mean, these are really shallow pullbacks. Right, the lows, right, hold, right, all the way up, right. Here's the, it's a double, right. Jesus, we don't, do we have one here? Last low that gets swept, that's a double, right? So we don't really actually get it. So the whole way up, it's higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher, all the way until we get here. This is where we get our change of character, right here. Right, so that's the change, right? And then down we go, golden zone, right? It's just right. I can't make this stuff up, right? It's the same thing every chart, always, 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 always the same. A technical approach, always the same, because that's our edge. Okay, so that's SNX, synthetics. I think got lots of potential. Big, big, big upside, so don't sleep on that one. Okay, let me see what else I've got. I think SHIB Ino was the other one that had some potential, right? So now I've got Ethereum on here for the market structure. Well, let me pull back out to a daily, because this is again, I've got the buy side liquidity on here. I think that may help people, so we'll leave it on here. We can take I mean, it doesn't conflict with the market structure at all here. So if I put it on, I'm drawing it. Oh shit, where am I drawing it from? Right here from this low. That's the number one reason I prefer Ethereum, right? Because I can decide where it starts rather than get 5 years of change of character. How would you almost have to take this out of log scale to appreciate it. Now we're over on Coinbase here because well, I would be trading this on BloFin. I can't get enough history, right? BloFin's our sponsor, right? So where we want to be on that exchange. But they only hit, right? You've heard me say this many times, right? I don't have full history because of when they hit TradingView. This looks like a failure swing. There's not a clean impulse here. This was, oh shit, what was that? Something, right, could cause that. So I think it's reasonable to start. So does the question you have to ask yourself, are they related? Right? Is this correction, is this impulse here related to this impulse? I'd propose to you not. I wouldn't think of it that way. Now, maybe it is, right? But again, that my preference in terms of TA is whatever it is, it's a completed cycle, right? So here's a new cycle, right? Now, I got a pretty good looking 5 here. Oh, it's a little, you got an extra hitch, right? Again, they all did the same thing right here. What are we doing? What are we doing now? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hard to miss that. Okay, let's come back here. Now, note, I'm out of log scale. Do we need to be in log scale? All right, so if we look down at our lows here, it's what I got 4 zeros, 13. Wait, no, that's 10 times the range. So you're on the edge here. Does it matter, right? Well, it's definitely going to change it, but it's not. It's really just going to pump it up, right? It's not a dramatic change. So when I don't have to be, I will stay out of log because it fucks the TA. It makes the drawing on the chart a little challenging. Okay, but so one ABC. Are we done? Oh shit, why not? Couldn't we be? A, B, C. Now this is, again, same thing. Every chart we're gonna look at, same thing, right? Every alt is in these damn near, right? Damn near, right? All the majors, same thing, right? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Are we going? Well, it kind of looks like, some of these look better, right? Now this is all wick down here, right? Oh, it looks like it was just an effort to come mitigate this. All right, so we got right to the center of it. Tighten that up. This was untouched, right? Just sitting here, right? Demand. Back for a visit. 1, 2. Okay, that can fly. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like I'm getting a start. Now, right, this is where Elliott Wave is, again, so advantageous to any other technical approach. So it looks like I've got a completed impulse here. I don't know, because we're sitting here, but it's a contender, right? So what's happening here, right? Liquidity being swept right here. So let's put a little $sign on that, right? So we know what's happening here, right? Now that doesn't mean that, it's coming, we fall through the floor as a result of a liquidity grab here. But we can see, right, here's the sell side, they grab it, buy side, they grab it. So if let's go to a 1 here, right? Are we done here? Let's put that 1 over here. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's the 4, right? The 4 is usually the easiest to spot, right? We stop progressing the trend, right? Oh, we're done. Well, let's finish it, right? Let's not be lazy, right? Maybe something along these lines. Decent channel. Oh shit, I missed it. Did you? Did you miss it? This is, I think we can agree that's not corrective, right? So it's just a straight shot, so we got to call it impulsive. A, B, here we're sweeping that liquidity. A little, oh, this got swept here. This is probably sitting here now just getting, oh, God damn it, just getting dealt with. All right, as we are dealing with that. Well, that wouldn't be unreasonable for to see it react there. Where would you be pulling from? Well, here's the last intermediate pivot high. As we hit the 50, oh, let's tighten that up. WrestleMania, right? Algo's fighting it out. Well, you want to buy that? I don't. Oh, let's see here. Let's see what. Oh, so I can do this on Coinbase. Let's just put a little volume profile on it. From this low, okay, in the pocket, we're on the edge of value here, right? We're about to go beyond the range, so let's expand that out a little bit. Well, let's take it from the top. From the top. Oh fuck, where'd you go? I'll often do this because I want to see. All right, well, this is going to be fairly obvious. Well, here's the POC. Edge of value up here. It looks like I got a high volume node right here as well. As we're hitting that, remember, high volume node is what the market will want to gravitate towards. So this is a, I'm probably spending too long here. All right, so, but this is, I've got some of this, so that shouldn't be why I'm spending time here. All right, so what would you hope for here, right? Well, you've got a candidate here to have completed the impulse. Now we don't know that it's done, but if it starts to come back, that's what we're waiting for, right? I candidate for a completed 5. That's what I want. I want that. So let's put just a, so you're not getting confused, right? Now I don't have this yet. I don't know that I'm done yet, but that's what I'd be looking for. So remember the POC here. We know you have the candidate down here for the market to be seeking some liquidity here. So a whale, SHIB whale, okay, there. You could do it the whole thing, right? All of this, right, is potentially just an area of liquidity for size, right? Which is what they're looking for. Where can I get in, not disrupt the market? Okay, POCs, again, as I was just saying, not the ideal location. It'd be more a target than if I'm trading this. If this goes ABC, right, the target from the B to the C might be POC. Rather than try and buy at the POC, what I want to look for is this, that first little one here, what am I on an hourly? That first little pullback. So I'd want the 1-2 because I can put my stop. And do this. I can put my stop here, 786, 787, so I'm not taking too much risk. I don't want to take that much risk. And if I can narrow down the amount of risk, then maybe I can go 3x, 5x, right? So people love to trade with leverage, depending on what your objective is. You make some money here, right? If you're going to get a 1-2, 1-2, that's what you want, right? Maybe take that up a little bit. 1-2. You get the idea. To zoom in on it, give me a 3 down. I don't have to be the hero and pick the turn. Don't have to do that. Now, if I were to get it here, what's the immediate thing you would do? Right? First thing, right? Because now I have structure and frame and a reference and a target. Right? Where's my target? If this is the 1 and this is the 2, that's what I'm after right there. Now, it may take a while to get there. So finish that labeling. If we get it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something along those lines is what you'd be after. Brighten that up. Put something you can see here. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get you in the 1, 2. Right, so 1 to watch. Right, SHIB. I think a lot of people watch this. It has legs when it decides to go. Okay, right. So that should give you some things to think about there. Certainly get it on your watch list. Let me keep working down the list. Ethereum name server. This one. Oh, where'd you go? All right, so this one's getting some buzz here. I've been reading about this one a lot lately. Let's go out to a daily here. Where am I? I'm in Coinbase. Again, I need more history. I would trade it on BloFin. Okay, right, so consolidation. You know, here it is again, right in your face, right? Contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. It's over and over and over and over again. Okay, so it looks to me, now you got to take this out of log scale to kind of appreciate what we've got here. Completed impulse, correction, completed impulse. Well, that's not going to be the 3. This is a very, very bullish chart, right? So 1, 2, not 3, that leaves 1. 1, 2, 1, 2. Whoa, did that just, now this, I think they are related. Right, they're close enough together, and out of log scale, I don't lose. It's not like this. You know, I'm not trying to connect this to this. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, right. If it gets in trouble, I know this is a very aggressive count, but god damn, is that bullish? Wow, wow, wow. If all that's going, if we're just, perhaps we put in the 3 here, 1, 2, 3, which you might look at that and say, well, oh shit, did we? I don't know. Let's measure it. You know, I got to punch through. This is second most common. And if we're not going to make the 1618, then that's out of log scale. At log scale, well, you're just making the 100. But it's, when you're measuring, you don't want to measure in log scale, right? Longer is longer, she said. Okay, right. So let's get that one down here. All right. So 1, 2, 3. What are we waiting for? 1, 2, 3, 4. What are we waiting for? If that's in, one, 2, right? Sideways, waiting. Often, right? Smoke, fire. From the low, well, what would you do, right? If it's completed, 50. Oh, I didn't put on the buy side. Are they? Oh, let's just add that up here. See if I can find that one. Buy side. Yeah, I think it is a free one, right? You can see 11,000 people use it. It's good, right? Where was the liquidity? Here, right? So where, no, it's not in your face here. Let's go to an 8. All right, so I got both of them here. Here's the break of structure. What do we anticipate after a break of structure? Retrace. Break of structure, right? So you can look at it here and say, what do we anticipate? Retrace, whoa. Well, did you get it here? Yes. Break of structure, yes. Continuity, consistency. Don't look for something abnormal. What usually happens right after a break? This is what the inexperienced. Oh, we broke the high. Time to buy it. No. That is not the time to buy it. That's the time to be alert for the retrace. Right? You don't want to ever do that, right? Somebody did. Somebody was inexperienced enough. I'm going to be friendly to them. Inexperienced enough to buy that. Oh, we're going to the moon. Not so fast. Okay, 3, is that a 4? Well, if these are related, let's go back to that daily. If they're related, it's a pretty good candidate. Now, we've already overlapped the 1. So it gets a little confusing here. So you start asking yourself, wait a minute, is this 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2? And we're getting so bullish here, you start to question that. It potentially 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 leading diag, right? Which is, oh my God, it gets so bullish. Out of this degree on a daily, it gets so bullish because that would make this, if we're putting in the 4, and we might go deeper here since we've already swept the 1, right? I mean, it gets so bullish. It's you almost have to back yourself off, right? Okay, wait a minute. So if this ends up being a leading diag of a 1, then that means that this is going way, way, way up here, right? It's crazy town, right? That's just massive bull porn, right? So if you're drawn to that, well, there you go. Because we can't call it an impulse. Now I have an impulse here, right? But then we're back to, is this 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2? There's no workaround here. Well, I take that back. No, not likely, right? Maybe if there's a triangle shaped in here, but I don't think so, right? So this is just a monster bull. I'm not exactly sure why. I haven't done a deep dive into what their use case is. I read about it a while ago, and I can't remember, right? So it almost doesn't matter, right? So I've got an impulse, I've got a correction. I've got an impulse, I got a correction. Impulse, correction. What am I waiting for? Well, let's go down to a 60 and see. Look at that start, right? How does it look off of the chute, right? If this is going to be the low and this is the liquidity that surprisingly got left behind. If that gets left behind, they grab here, but they couldn't get this one. That's always kind of surprising. Like, really? Are you going to get that close? Do you think there's any stops down here? Yeah, there's stops down here. They're not going to get it. It looks very much like Bitcoin, that ABC, and then is it WXY? Because this sure looks like a 3, doesn't it? Right. So something here. Then I've got this, right? And I'm on a 60 ABC. Hard to call it, right? You don't. So it doesn't give you a lot of conviction when you're looking at that. Here's all I see, right? Just consolidation. What do I know comes from consolidation? Right, we've been over that enough, right? Are we in a squeeze? Yeah, we just come out of the squeeze. So really, what you're after here is something to present itself, come out of this consolidation, expand, and then I'll take the retrace, right? We are retracement traders. I can say with absolute certainty, the one thing we never do is buy breakouts, right? In fact, we go out of our way to try and talk you out of doing that because that's not, somebody bought it here, right? Somebody bought it right here. Oh, one tick. Oh, so sorry. Guess you didn't get that lesson, right? They didn't, but sooner or later they learn it. Okay, so is this a 1, 2? Whatever it is, well, I got a long ways to go to get a break of structure. So this would be internal structure I'd be working with. So when you don't have an obvious start, right? Now we don't know that this is the low is in. There's no knowing. But okay, it's a good start. Now, and we're sweeping this liquidity. Okay, so does that look like, oh, shit, I can barely get can I get an impulse there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's the 4, 5. God, I hate to come down that low. They get kind of squirrely. Push you off for a second. God, there's very little subdivision. Maybe you could work on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although I really want to put the 4 here and do it this way. So can we get that internal? No, that's your 1, right? You can't go 1, 2. You can't do it there, right? That has to be there. Well, that's likely the 4 here. Well, this would be the most accommodating. So grab the liquidity here. Well, if it's me, all I can tell you is how I would trade it and how I would advise members to trade it, right? Where am I going to buy that? I'm going to be looking to buy it right down here. So to finish that up, let's let's use that one. All right, let's get a volume profile on there if that's going to work. Okay, so where is the market fat and happy? Here's the range. Oh, I could probably put anchored VWAP on that as well. All right, so it seems to be holding rather nicely. What are we waiting for? 1, 2, 3, 4. What are we waiting for? 5, 3. What do we anticipate next? Anticipate, not know. We anticipate a 5. How am I doing? 38. Oh, shit. It's going. I'm talking slowly. Okay, all right, let me keep moving. Hang on a sec. Okay, let me finish up here with Avalanche. Remember Bitcoin, right? Doing this ABC here, then the funkiness down here. You see the similarities here? I mean, again, almost all of them, right? You're just doing this box here. Now, some are ahead, right? Bitcoin seems to be ahead of the alts. Okay, right? So can we connect all of this? Again, I'm on Coinbase because I need that history. Okay, so we're working off of this low. Okay, leading diag. I'm out of log scale. Do I need to be in log scale? 16 to 58. Yeah, I need to be in log scale. So, well, let me rephrase that. If you're 4 times the range, you have to look at it in log scale. It's up to you as you want to do your TA there. If I don't need to, I'd rather not. Okay, leading diag. Okay, AB, Yeah, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got an ABC coming down. Pretty good looking correction, right? 5s and 3s. 5, 3, 5. You gonna call that corrective? I think not. Okay, so it'll flow one. Yeah, shit. You can do it, right? It's there. 1, 2, 3. Yikes. 4, 5, something along those lines. I don't know. I shouldn't say that, right? It matters, right? Let's get you clean that up. 5, 5, 3, 5, 3. Something I need to say. Well, let's look here, right? So if this is the 3 and this is going to hold as the 2, if it's going to hold as the 2, oh, I kind of want to take a look at where that went. Yeah, it looks like we had a little dagger go through here, right? But it looks like they stayed with it, as that's all wick. Here's the retest, comes right back, just breaks the 618, just enough to get in there to give you a candidate. Right now, we don't know. Candidate 1, ABC. Let's finish that. A, B, C, candidate. Oh, let's bring it down. Okay, right, since they're all doing the same thing, right, you're not getting a particular advantage one over the other. Strongest project, who's making money, you can that's where alt fins can be really helpful, as they track all of that. Can I get a 3 out of this? Well, I've got a prospect. I don't know, but I got a candidate. Where would I be looking for the 3? Right here. 4. Can I get that 5? Well, if that were to complete, right, again, if you're going to put it somewhere, why wouldn't you put it where they usually go? You would. Okay, so let's get that out of there. If this is 3, 4, 5, and we get up here and we double, okay, possible that's the 5th, and you're going to double. Again, I don't have this, right? So I'm just projecting based on where they usually go. What's more probable here? I mean, it's a deep 4, right? So in that same context, in that conversation of probability, the deeper the 4, the less we anticipate a major 5, right? Like just a kicker in the 5. So, okay, a double is not out of the realm of possibility here. Now, I've got a good target up here. So something like this. So let's do it this way. If we take the length of 1 and we project it from the proposed 4 here, well, there's 618 here, right? So here's 100, right, which is the most common target, and I'm out of log scale. Well, let's see if it changes any going into log scale. Well, yeah, it's going to change it. But see, that's the danger of log scale. It looks better, but is it better? Right? I mean, this is dangerous, right? So you look at that and say, oh, okay, well, log scale, boy, this has got a long way to go. Well, slow your roll there. Does it? Careful of that, right? You want to be a little more. You don't want to go, oh, what's the best case? Okay, be aware of it, but don't talk yourself into, oh my God, look at, oh shit, this thing's going, we're going 2618 or 16, we're going up here, we're going to 246. Now we may be going that far, but right now as it sits here, that's too much to project, right? We don't know. That's too much. Let's one 5 at a time. Okay, let's complete the first one. That's even a shaky 1. Is it a 1? Well, we don't get a new low here, so it's a candidate. But boy, this better rip. Now, again, it looks like a few we've looked at. Do we have it here? Is that going? You can see this possibly being corrective, right? If it, see that would start to blow it up here already. Now I'm in log scale, so this 4 doesn't look so deep, right? It looks like, oh shit, that's better. Okay, it's only a 50, right? Out of log scale, it's like, whoa, we broke the golden zone. Okay, careful about talking yourself into it because it looks better over here. Okay, if that's 3 and this is 4, couldn't this go lower? Absolutely. This could be W. We could be doing just like Bitcoin, right? It's exact same pattern, right? This could be WX and we're doing the Y. Could be exact same thing. A, B, C, W, right? So it would be WX, Y going. I mean, there's all sorts of potential here. Right now, I've got a candidate. All I can say is I got a candidate here. Now, that doesn't mean I'd back away from trading it, right? If this, assume we complete here, I'd like to see that sweep a little bit more, right? To grab these guys and screw them, right? Okay, sorry guys, that's what happens. Okay, right, so that I like, right? So let's see what I got down here. I have some demand down here. Little order block, and it looks like it came out of there pretty aggressively, right? So we've got displacement. So a good candidate here. Oh shit, let's be more precise there. We could use that whole move down. All right, this is all down here, and we double, we don't get a new low. Boy, it's mighty tight. That's pretty tight. Jesus, hang on a sec. Well, that looks like it clears it by a tick. Let's just double check here. I better turn the magnet on for that one. Oh, can that get any closer? I don't think it can. That's about as close as they get. Let's get you up there. So that gives you a little pause. Where else could I start that? Here? Shit, let's go to a 30. Maybe get a little more clarity here on a lower time frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a good. There's the. Oh shit! Get out of that thing's a pain once you don't need it. Impulse. Whew. Barely survives it, but it does. Right? A tick is. It can, I've said this before. It can go one tick to it. It just can't go past it. 2, 3. Right? Good looking 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why not? Right? No, I don't. This could keep going. That could be a 4. Well, this, you can see it, right? Oh fuck! Come here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Got a good 1, 2. Could be 3, 4. We're going. Could be another leg there. I'd be watching this, right? You don't. Are you looking to short it? Maybe not. Maybe that's not the play there. Is to short it. Maybe what you're looking for here is what I would propose to you. Let it complete. Let it complete. You're not going to miss it. Well, odds are there will be a retracement, right? If that's not it, and we didn't top here. Let me take that up a degree just to be consistent. Okay, what would you hope happens here? Well, an easy target would be the prior 3, 4. But where do they typically go? If I guess we're going to start it right here. I don't know that I'm done here, but that's where I'd like to buy it. Let's do it like this. That's where I'd like to buy it. Again, just be consistent. Okay, do I have, well, there's a good example. On a 30-minute, well, here's a POC, right where I drew it, right where I drew the consolidation. The prior 3, 4, right, is a common target, right, for an Elliottian. Okay, right, there's just air here, right? There's very little, you got a little bit here, you got a little bit here. So once it starts coming down, you've got potentially the POC would be a play. Let's go to a 2-hour here, see if that fattens it up a little bit. Not much, right? This is just straight up. Very little trade took place there on the other side, right? Just a straight rip, right? God, even the... Oh, get out of here. I'm trying to... I feel you guys getting bored. Okay, right? So I've got potentially, right, the inverse fair value gaps. I've got those up here. I've got another big one up here. Let's pull back here, and then we'll wrap it up. What do we have to clear? You guys know this. Oh, they're close enough here. We got to get through Al. He'll be there playing defense, right, as he always is. If that 2 is in 1, right? So all the more why I love, right? When I get the pivot here, I don't know that I have it. You see all the potential stop liquidity that's sitting right there. Give me that retrace. Oh, First thing I'm going to do, very first thing, if I get it, if I get the retrace, and doesn't have to be golden. I work with a 50. I work with a 707, right? But you'd like it to take a little more time, because if it's too sharp, it's too easy to hit the target, right? You want it to come out here so you can get targets higher. So you want that. That's all the more why you want that 2 to take a little bit more time. Now, market doesn't give a shit what we want, right? So, but if you can get it something to take a little bit more time, 1, you're going to get more conviction. Oh, I think I do have a 1 here. I completed this impulse and I got a 3, 5, 3, right? It's the genius of Elliott. I'm going to say it every week until it's like so part of your brain. I cannot look at a chart and not see 5s. I can't do it. I can't not see it. It's so ingrained in my brain. After so many years of doing this, that's all I see is 5s and 3s, 5s and 3s, right? I consider myself fortunate, right? That's all I can see. Some might say, oh, that's a curse. I would propose the opposite. Okay, right. So again, let me get out of here. All right, 1, 2, get this on your watch list, right? This is they're major. They're not going anywhere. Give me a retrace, long and strong. Okay, guys. Oh shit, 50 minutes. All right. With that, I wish you guys a good weekend, a good start to the new year, and right, as always, you can always join us in our Discord. We're free to join here, but of course, you're interested in the belt system. If you want to develop, if you want to get to the point where you can't see anything but 5s and 3s, belt system a good place to start. Okay, guys, have a good weekend. We'll catch you next week.